I'd like for everyone out there in my audience, if you have the ability to stop what you're doing for a moment and sit down and relax, close your eyes, and imagine that you have a time machine. It's a portal where there's a console right in front of it, and you can just walk up, type in a location, a time, and a date, press a button, a vortex opens, and it takes you right there. And you can go back and, based on your knowledge of future events, you can affect things in the past. In this video, I'm going to show you one of the major events you would be able to do nothing about, and it debunks the narrative of the event that we've been taught by the media. Now, I know that sounds a little bit complicated, but most people think, well, wait, Florida Monkey, if you go in the past, you can change those events. No, you couldn't. Because what people believe of the event isn't true. When you would go back, you would realize, oh my God, we got this completely wrong. We're remembering this entirely in a different way than it happened. Our time machine would be ineffective. Real quick, before we get into this, I know people are like, okay, you better have some good content today. Believe me, when I show you this logically, it's going to blow your mind. But real quick, as always, God bless all of you who have continued to sign up over the Florida Monkey Patreon channel. Very, very much appreciate it. We're going to have some brand new content upcoming this week, and we are going to move forward with things like cognitive dissonance. People hear these things and they think they know what they are, things like straw man and availability heuristic and all this kind of stuff, and they really don't understand the mechanisms and how they are used. If you'd like to join us over there, love to have you. 4 levels, whatever God puts on your heart. Best part is fully refundable for the first 90 days. You can go over there, kick the tires, watch all the videos going back all the way to 2018, and not for you, full refund of everything that you pledged for up to 3 months. God bless all of you who already have. Thank you so much. Very much appreciate it. Let's get right to it. How many of you would go back and attempt to change what happened with the story with Jeffrey Epstein? How many of you would think that would be a noble cause? Those out there who still continue to believe the fake false narrative, that the man was a pedophile. You see, here in the modern world, here in 2025, we have now redefined words to mean things different than what they actually mean, because it's easier to redefine the word than it is to let go of the feeling that we have being seen in the mirror as, I am against pedophilia, and this man was accused of being the world's worst pedophile, rather than believe the truth that the man was falsely accused and killed in prison before he could defend himself. It's easier for you to attack me. How dare you defend a pedophile? Even though there's complete proof the man wasn't a pedophile. People want that feeling. The theme of today's video, what am I supposed to feel? This is the trap that is laid by every alphabet agency, every media corporation, the U.S. government. They make you value your feelings more than facts. And you will do anything. Anybody who challenges your feelings, you will attack them rather than process the new information that might delete your feelings or say that your feelings were misplaced. Here's proof. Here's proof. You ready for this? 4 minutes in. The story is that this guy and his accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, trapped are these poor little girls, all these poor little urchins that were running around on the streets, and brought them to his evil lair, to his evil ranch out in New Mexico and in his island in the Caribbean and up in Manhattan. And he abused them, and he kept them there, and he trapped them there, and they couldn't get away, and they didn't want to tell anybody, and all this la nonsense. Here are the victims of Jeffrey Epstein, the girls who were so traumatized by the events that they went back multiple times to the island voluntarily, to the ranch voluntarily, and when they were back in their high schools, they recruited other girls, who then also recruited other girls. See, that's why Netflix had to get rid of the documentary. There used to be a documentary on this. And people realize something after watching, oh, wait a minute, this isn't the story we've been told. But if you could go back in your time machine, you know what you would run into? That's right. You would run into 15-year-old girls. Now, quick poll, show of hands out there. How many of you out there have ever tried to reason with a 15-year-old girl? Now, imagine not having any legal authority over the 15-year-old girl and trying to convince her that what she's doing at that time is wrong. Even though what she's doing at that time has gotten her piles of cash, jewelry, clothes, free trips, status with her friends, and you have no legal authority to stop her from doing anything. Now, I'm showing these images from Married with Children because that's the story that most people could relate to. The character in Christina Applegate, the actress, the character Kelly Bundy. Huge part of the plot made Married with Children so relatable was that the girl, who was at the time 14, 15, 16 years old, pretty much did whatever she wanted to do. Her parents couldn't stop her. And this was relatable to everybody at the time. Here's, a girl who actually at the time is not even close to of age. She's got a beer in her hand and she got her, arm around a guy who's, in his mid-20s. And nobody said a word. What chance do you think you had traveling back in time if you could get these girls in a room when they're 13, 14, and 15 years old and they've, already made contact with this billionaire and they've got all this status, clothes, hair getting done, nails getting done, jewelry, all this kind of stuff that he was providing for them. And you try to, traveling back from the future, try to reason with them. Yeah. People didn't think, oh yeah, you know what? They would basically tell you to go take a flying effing leap, is what these girls would do. Because you have to remember something people have forgotten. The late 90s and early 2000s, when this all happened, was the era of female empowerment. Females being independent and using their sexuality to enrich themselves was seen as the height of modern feminism. Remember this little nugget? Dressed as a high school girl? And doing all these things? And making all this money? And owning their own sexuality? This was what was being piped into the earbuds of girls, well, younger than 13, 14, and 15 for sure. This is what was being put out in the mainstream media. Nobody was having a problem. Well, there were people who were having a problem with it, but that leads us to our next problem. Even Samantha Fox, an avowed porn star, was mainstreamed and joined the music industry and brought some of her porn star bravado into her own music. She wasn't one of these, oh, I was a porn star, but now I'm going to be a Christian star because I found Jesus. No, that was nothing like that. Now, you ready for the time machine moment? If you were a man at that time and you would have stood up and said, you know what? We need to take this crap off the air. We need to take this crap off of TV. We need to get rid of this. We need to put this on pay-per-view. Because we can't have young girls thinking that this is how they get ahead in the world. By using their sexuality. Girls getting ahead in the world, making a bunch of money by using their sexuality. Where have I... Oh, that's right. That was actually happening in real life. Any man who would have attempted to confront these girls or confront anyone about the political scene at the time that led up to this would have been seen. How stupid are you? You're just a dumb old misogynist. You're just an old fuddy-duddy, an old conservative Christian. You're just trying to keep women down. You're trying to keep women under the thumb of men. Would have been what you got? You'd have been called stupid and moronic and in the way of progress. Now, jives right up with OnlyFans, doesn't it? Here we are 25 years later. The next generation has learned, wow, yes, that's in fact 1.4, way more than that now, almost 2 million. 2 million American women, ranging in ages from 21 all the way up to 60, use the OnlyFans platform. Those of you that don't know what that is, that's where women basically offer different levels of undress, pictures of themselves, and they have their own website, and you pay anywhere from $3 a month, $5 a month, $15 a month, depending on what you want to see. Millions of women, in fact, the women of America that do this out-earned the NBA last year. By a lot. By billions. People are using it to survive. Imagine being the guy that would have to, say, you know what, we're going to stop this, we're going to get rid of this, we're going to delete this. But then it led to people being homeless. It led to people having no other choices. Do you see the problem now? You see, you couldn't have stopped OnlyFans. Study found 74% of women involved in prostitution cited poverty. They need to pay household expenses, support their children as a primary motivator. Well, gosh, I wonder what the motivator was for these girls. How many of you ever heard the song from the Eagles, Lion Eyes? Go back and listen carefully to the lyrics of Lying Eyes by the Eagles. I believe that song was from the 1970s. And listen closely and see if you don't hear something. Funny story. People are out there like, but they were little girls. They were little girls. This girl was a little girl. This guy, Charlie Johns, age 22, and when she was 9, they got married. This is America. This is in America. Back in January 37. Those of you who are cringing at this picture, do you know what happened to little girls who were in orphanages, who didn't find husbands and get married? Do you know what happened to little girls who were in orphanages like she was, who didn't find somebody to take care of them? You see, it's just like the story with Venezuela. If you could take your time machine back 10 years, when everybody believed that, oh, we're going to go get rid of socialism in Venezuela. We're going to go get rid of socialism in Venezuela and free the people. And now, here in 2025, you realize, oh, crap. The guy that Trump wanted to put in charge is also a socialist. Also a socialist. Just one a little bit more amenable to handing over Venezuela's natural resources to big oil. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. What does this have to do with the other two subjects, Epstein and OnlyFans and all that? You couldn't go back in time and change any of it. I mean, even though all these major countries in the world, whether it's, Mexico or Saudi Arabia or Brazil or all these other countries, they all have nationalized oil too, and they make money hand over fist. You couldn't even go back to World War II when America was socialist and had government set prices, government rationed goods, and the U.S. government in around World War II was trying to stamp out free markets. Here's another one of my favorites from that era. I'm out to lick runaway prices. Does anybody think that prices at the grocery store are runaway right now? Let's all follow the 7-key plan to hold prices down. Number 1, buy and hold war bonds, meaning give the government your money. 2, pay willingly our share of taxes. Hey, quick poll, show of hands. If there wasn't a heavily armed unit called the IRS BATF that could come kick your door down, drag you off to prison, and take everything you have, if they didn't exist, would you willingly pay income taxes? How many people out there do you think would stop immediately if there wasn't a heavily armed civilian task force assigned with going into people's houses, kicking down their doors, taking everything they own, throwing them in jail indefinitely. Follow ration rules and price ceilings. Cooperate with our government's wage stabilization program. This is America. So people are out there right now having their cognitive dissonance moments. What am I supposed to feel? If you're still suffering from cognitive dissonance, I guarantee this will be your response. How can this guy defend a pedophile? How can this guy defend prostitution? How can this guy defend a dictator in Venezuela? See, isn't that odd? That when you tell the truth about something, instead of people reassessing what they believe and the feelings that they have based on what they've erroneously believed, they want to hold on to the feeling. People want to desperately hold on to the feeling of, oh, look at this evil white guy. World's worst pedophile ever. Why is this guy trying to defend? It's just unconscionable. I can't believe he used these horrible pictures from way back then that nobody said a word about or did anything about back then. You would have been kicked out of all social circles. You would have not been able to publish any kind of an article. You definitely wouldn't have made any news shows on TV because of how dumb you were. Because you were too stupid to even be, allowed into the conversation about modern feminism. Where female empowerment meant sexualizing yourself. And now we have OnlyFans. We have OnlyFans to the tune of $6.6 billion a year in 2023. And I dare you, I double, triple dog dare you to try to make convince me that you could somehow go back in time and reason with a huge group of 15-year-old girls, 15, 14, 13, 15-year-old girls that had money of their own. And I don't mean a little, a lot. Money of their own, clothes, jewelry, status, anything they wanted. And as far as, but what are they having to do for it? You know what the girls would have told you? What happens on the island stays on the island. What happens on the ranch stays on the ranch. What I do to earn my money is my business, not yours. That's exactly what the girls would have told you. And in the year 2000, 99, 98, 2003, there wouldn't have been a damn thing you could do about it. Go scream to the police all you want about it, unless the girls themselves came forward and said that this bad thing and this other bad thing and this other bad thing was happening. They would have had to sit down, you see, and that's the other reason, too, Epstein had to be killed in prison. Because when these girls got put on the stand, when he ever went to trial, they would have folded like a cheap suit. Every single one of them would have had to admit, yeah, we were willingly engaging in prostitution at the time. And we were using the money to take care of family and travel, and we recruited other girls, and we were living high on the hog, and we only got mad when we were replaced by younger models. And that's why we call ourselves victims now. You couldn't do a damn thing about it. In the Britney Spears era, in the Christina Aguilera era, you would have stood no chance. I don't care if you sat there and gave them every winning score from every NBA game, NFL game, and proved that you were from the future. They would have told you to go take a fly and leap. As would have every woman at the time. So, time machine. Not really what you think. Ladies, help me out here. Do you think you could travel into the past and sit down some 15-year-old girl who was, giant piles of money, living life, like a dream, anything you wanted? You think you could talk them out of it on some kind of a moral basis back in 2000? Good luck with that. I would love to hear how you would do that. I will leave it there. God bless. Pray for each other. Pray for me. I'll pray for you. Lift each other up. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.